Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. It's noontime. It's definitely afternoon, the very beginning of the afternoon. Have you had lunch yet? Are you going to have lunch now? I couldn't wait till after this. I had to have sneak a little snack beforehand. So today is Thursday, and every Thursday we have Merles Pearls. You know, I've been married over 50 years to the same man, happily, at least 99% of the time. There was that time in year 19, but I'll talk about that another time. Meanwhile, I have been married over 50 years to the same man. I ought to know something about relationships. And so I talk about relationships. And I talk about it on Merles Pearls because I have these pearls of wisdom. And the pearls of wisdom today, we're going to talk about what do you want and what are you doing about it? And does that have anything to do with relationship? Or does it have everything to do with relationship? Or who was that relationship with? Maybe that relationship is the first relationship that you really need to get under control and be happy with is that relationship with yourself. And surely you have asked the question of, what is it I want? What is it I want anyway? But there are times, I'm going to tell you this is true for everyone because it's true for everyone at some point or another. Most things can be true for most people, but some things, everybody breathes. And so everybody feels a little discontent once in a while. And there are the times when they say, well, what is it I want? Really, what do I want? That's a very important question to ask. And I have some clues about it because I've asked that question a lot. And one of the things I realize is that it doesn't have to be we're always looking for the perfect answer. So I know exactly what I want, and I know exactly how I want to live the rest of my life. And you don't have to be that exact, really. You don't have to be that exact. But you need to be able to ask, or I recommend that you ask yourself and come up with an answer, by the way. Have an answer for what is it I want right now? What is it I want for next year? You don't have to go past 5 years. You don't have to go up to 5 years. You can just do with what I want right now. But it's nice to have maybe a year going out, that things that you want to accomplish. What that does is, number one, it says to you, it's all right not to have everything that you want because you have ambitions for your life. The ambition can be just to be happy. It doesn't have to be, I don't mean you need to be president. That's not the kind of ambition I mean. I mean intention and goal setting and how do you want to live your life and what kind of makes you kind of comfortable and yet gives you enough sense of discomfort that you know you're kind of stretching and reaching. A man's grasp should out. Oh my God. A man's reach should exceed his grasp. A man's reach should exceed his grasp for what's a heaven for. Robert Browning, who was married to Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Oh my gosh, I know something today. My goal was to know something today. So what are your goals and what are you going to do about it? If you have any ideas, anybody here want to talk about what their goals are, fine. If not, here are some ideas of what your goals are. If you don't know, if you say, Merle, I don't know what my goals are, then I have some suggestions. at least they've worked for me, is when I haven't known what is it I want to do. When I don't have the answer to that, this is what I do. I just get quiet and I listen to what I say in my head. What I say in my head, I mean, what am I thinking? So I'll think something bizarre. And it was at that time when Nathan and I were not doing that well. And I said, well, if I can't be happy with him, I'm not going to worry about it. But I got to be happy with myself. And so I worked at being happy with myself. And so I said, oh, well, what do you want? And I said, I had no clue. But I did think about, oh, well, it'd be fun to go skydiving. And then I thought about, yes, I'm not ready for that yet, though. So I was able to say, yes, I mean, it's on my bucket list, but that's not the next thing I want to do. And so I said, okay, okay, Miss Merle, what is it you want to do? And, well, I thought about joining Toastmasters. So I joined Toastmasters. And I thought about being active in my temple. So I called the rabbi and said, I told him, I know you don't say, well, I want to be active. You name something. I said, I want to be on this committee. I had a particular committee in mind. And that's how I started. And it turns out that even though you don't know what you want, if you think it, chances are it's one of the things you want. And you know what? If it isn't, you'll cross that off your list. Say, okay, I tried it, but no, that's okay. And you just go on. That's the other thing that that has worked for me when I've said I don't know what to do. This is not working, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know who to ask. Because that would be the next thing, to look around for somebody to ask. But okay, here I am. I don't know what to do, and I don't know who to ask. What do you do? I'll tell you what I do. I do anything that I haven't done before. If I always get mad, I don't get mad. If I always say, oh, all right, then I say something different. Whatever it is. If I always empty the trash, I stop it. Whatever it is, I do something different. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't work, so I say, okay, what else haven't I done? Because we all know that none of us have done everything there is to do in the world. We haven't all reacted every which way there is to react in the world. We tend to react the same way all the time. So what I did, without realizing it, is put myself in the position of doing something different. Well, I kind of realized that part, but the advantage of it is, if you go with positive psychology and everything, is that you're teaching yourself to do something that's uncomfortable for you. And why is it uncomfortable? I'll tell you why it's uncomfortable. Because anything you haven't already done is uncomfortable. The first time, the best violin player, the first time Jascha Heifetz played the violin, he wasn't fabulous, and he wasn't happy with it. Even if he was exceptional in terms of the rest of us, he wasn't exceptional for him. So it was, even as much as he may have loved it and may have been drawn to it and magnetically, there was still this discomfort. In the same way, when you work out and you push yourself, you have to be careful not to push yourself to hurt. But you can push yourself towards discomfort, because just past comfort is where all the learning is, where all the progress is. And if you don't know what you want, you need, in order, I hate to say you need all the time, what I want to say is the way to find out more about yourself and what you really want is to try things you haven't done, even though they are uncomfortable. And they're uncomfortable. It's not because they're wrong. It's not because you're not doing it well. It's because of anything that you haven't had experience doing, there's a discomfort of a first time. And if you learn to embrace that discomfort, they're the people that climb the top of Mount Everest because it's there. And every step they take is uncomfortable. But they have a goal that's so clear, and part of the journey of what people that climb to Mount Everest, that journey, that hype, that excitement, that something new, that stretching and pushing, that's really more their goal, whether they realize it or not, than the actual destination. Because in our life, it's more about the journey than the destination. But here's the secret. You have to have a destination in order to go somewhere. You have to go somewhere in order to have a journey. And you have to have a journey in order to live and have a happy life. So it's kind of funny how they connect. You do need the destination, but it isn't the destination that makes you happy. It's the reaching for it. It's the journey. It's the getting there. I'm not sure I quite answered what do you want? I talked about that, and what are you doing to get? Well, I kind of have answered that question. Whatever you're doing to get what you want, it will entail doing something different from what you're doing now. Because if you were doing the right thing now, you would have what you want. So just by the fact that you have something yet to get to, you have some new steps to take, some different approaches that you haven't done before, and that will make you uncomfortable. Just plan on it. Just plan on it and get a sense of comfort in discomfort, whatever that means to you. It kind of makes sense to me. And if you, I think that's it. I guess what I'd like to end up instilling is the excitement and the joy of trying something new, of taking a chance on doing it not right. Because wait, you're not even taking a chance. If it's the first time you did it, you're not going to do it right. You're not going to do it perfectly. So you're going to have to keep working on it, and you're going to have to get used to being imperfect. But a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? The more you do it, the closer to perfection you get. And it's that striving that energizes you, that juices you. I mean, if you have that, you don't need drugs. Because that push, that little bit further, that's your drugs. That's it for today. Is it a kind of fun conversation? And please write your comments, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, what you'd like more of, or just a like. Share it with other people, and come back next Thursday at 11. I'm along with Patty for Thursday Thoughts with Merle and Patty, and I'm back here at noontime for Merles Pearls. We're also, by the way, Patty and I have finished our first course for the Magic and Science of Love, 3 Secrets to Getting the Perfect Partner for You. And you know how I am about perfection. Perfection is just an instant, and then it's gone. You do something perfect, and then nothing else is perfect. Your life is never perfect, but there's pieces of perfection, like stars in the sky. There are pieces of perfection in your life. And anyway, I have no idea why I said that, but the course was perfection. It was really good, and we're giving it again in November. So check on my website. Check. In fact, I know you can find it on my website, but you can direct message me or any kind of message me and ask me any questions about it as well. Otherwise, I'll see you next Thursday. Have a fabulous week. Remember, feel free to be a little bit uncomfortable and reach for the stars. Bye, everybody.